Alright, hello everybody, welcome to another video today. My name is Chris, and today, obviously, as everybody knows, Lord & Taylor on today, which is Saturday, February 27th, 2021, for anybody watching this video in the future, was the last and final day of operation for the 195-year-old company, Lord & Taylor. So, just a couple of minutes ago, this was just over 20 minutes ago, there is a new Forbes article that was just released, and it pretty much gives a background on Lord & Taylor, and a little bit of information to the very beginnings to the very end, of course. So, anyways, this is the article. Lord & Taylor locks its doors for the last time after 195 years. So this particular writer focused on the store in Washington, Chevy Chase, Maryland, or Washington, D.C. You could say it one way or another, but this Lord & Taylor store closed today. This was one of the 19 to close today. On Saturday, Lord & Taylor quietly closed its doors at all of its remaining locations. The once locked department store officially ended its 195-year run and transitioned into just another piece of retail history. The retailer, once known for its classic merchandise, personal service, and its American Beauty rose symbol, concluded its 26-week liquidation sale on Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which 26 weeks was approximately 6 months. The Chevy Chase Lord & Taylor, that's where he particularly is focusing, so you'll be seeing that a lot in this article, which is located on the Washington District of Columbia line, was one of 19 Lord & Taylor locations that made it to the company's last day of operation. There was not much left to buy on Saturday, other than some buckets of cosmetics and a few racks of clothes, all at 90% off regular prices. The only activity inside the store centered around the selection of fur coats specifically bought in by the liquidation firm, also sold at 90% off. Most of the employees were extremely tight-lipped about the 62-year-old store's final day. Only one salesperson confirmed that there would be no special dinner or gathering Saturday night. "We're just going to lock the doors at 5 p.m., quipped the worker. The exterior of the Chevy Chase store has derided over the past year. Its windows remain covered in plywood since the demonstrations hit the area last June. We all know what that is, so I'm not going to get into that. But yes, there were demonstrations last June. I'm not going to get into that, like I said. Its grounds are unkempt, and the covered parking garage is rusting. Several sections of the white brick exterior have been tagged with graffiti. It hints of vacant structure possible appearance months or years down the road. And this was another picture that looks like this was by the escalators in that Chevy Chase Northwest Washington, D.C. store. This again was taken on the last and final day of operation for Lord & Taylor. It's a far cry from the location's September 1959 GLOT opening celebration when First Lady Marian Eisenhower and Nina Murr's wife of the Supreme Court, Chief Justice Earl Warren, snipped the ribbon and welcomed the first New York fashion department store into the Washington retail scene. "I am most pleased to have this opportunity to welcome to Washington one of the country's oldest and finest department stores. Lord & Taylor is now truly part of our nation's capital," stated Myers. And this is the Lord & Taylor in Manhasset. Saturday also marked, and then he shifts his focus to Lord & Taylor in Manhasset, which is one of the last two in Nassau County, and one of the last two on Long Island as well. Saturday also marked the final day at the 80-year-old Lord & Taylor store in Manhasset, New York, along with its popular, profitable 74-year-old Eastchester location in Westchester County. And as we all know, those both are literally sister stores, very similar layouts in some ways. The Eastchester store became the de facto flagship after Lord & Taylor former owner Canada's Hudson Bay, everybody loves Hudson Bay, officially closed its Fifth Avenue flagship on January 2nd, 2019, and this was the flagship Lord & Taylor, which is now closed. Supposed to be WeWork is out. It's supposed to be something with Amazon now. Hudson Bay Company, Lord & Taylor owner since 2012, seemed unable to definite and properly market the Lord & Taylor brand and preferred to concentrate its energy on its Saks Fifth Avenue division. In November of 2019, Hudson Bay Company sold Lord & Taylor to Latote, a clothing rental startup firm. Latote wanted to transform Lord & Taylor into a tech-savvy retailer with rental boutiques and other amenities. However, Latote ran out of time and money, and that was before COVID collapsed the retail industry. Lord & Taylor and Latote filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy on protection on Thursday, August 2nd, 2020. You got this wrong, by the way. It's supposed to be Thursday, August 2nd, 2020. The company stated in its bankruptcy court it hoped to maintain 19 of its 38 stores and keep the retail brand alive. So that pretty much meant those 19 stores that closed today were supposed to be the ones that were going to stay alive. However, the reorganization became too daunting for the retailer, and store closing signs appeared at all locations on Thursday, August 27th, 2020, which, ironically enough, was 6 months ago from today. Samuel Lord and George Washington Taylor opened their internal dry goods store in April of 1826, located at 47 Catherine Street in Lower Manhattan. Over the following 9 decades, Lord & Taylor slowly expanded and worked its way uptown. By the time it opened its Fifth Avenue location at West 38th Street in 1914, Lord & Taylor was already billed as America's oldest store. Much of Lord & Taylor's success and reputation is rightfully credited to Dorothy Shaver, its store's president from 1946 until her untimely death in 1959. She joined the store's comparison shopping bureau of 1924 and worked her way up the ranks until she became the first female executive. This was the head of Lord & Taylor at the time. Shavy's flair for style commitment to America's fashion designers helped transition Lord & Taylor from a store in the rich, Dightonly but poor and Dragile to the exclusive Fifth Avenue fashion destination. Its animated window displays are often cited as the first of its kind, were a New York holiday tradition up until the location's final year. Shaver insisted that women loved to shop and wanted to make shopping as happy, comfortable, and exciting as possible. This included several in-store dining rooms, modernized elevators, enhanced parking facilities, and multiple lounges, combated the shopper fatigue. After Shaver's death, the retailer carried on with her mission of selling updated fashion with good taste, and its employees sales personal with good manners. It also continued Shaver's expansion program and established stores in Boston, Atlanta, Texas, Chicago, Detroit, and beyond. This was the Prudential Center, Lord & Taylor Falls Church, Lord & Taylor Fashion Center, Ridgewood Paramus, that closed today, by the way. Chevy Chase, Washington, closed as well, by the way. Jenkinson's, Bala Kinwood closed in January. Lord & Taylor, Garden City, New York, that closed today as well. Lord & Taylor Millburn, which is located near the mall at Short Hills. This is the Millburn store. It moved to the Lord & Taylor store in Livingston, New Jersey, which that Lord & Taylor used to be a Hain & Company, and then it became Lord & Taylor when Hain and May Company both merged. Also, from what I heard about this Lord & Taylor store, particularly in Millburn, a lot of the workers that were here, I believe, it was a split between the Livingston store and the Westfield store. The Lord & Taylor store in West Hartford, Connecticut, the Lord & Taylor store in Manhasset, New York, which is now closed, and that became a Lord & Taylor. I'm sorry, that was always Lord & Taylor. That closed today, by the way. The Lord & Taylor in Westchester County, this was the flagship store after this location closed. And this location, of course, being the crown jewel of all the Lord & Taylors in New York City, New York. So, anyways, so by the 1970s, Lord & Taylor made a conspicuous decision to eliminate many of its couture lines. It decided to broaden its customer base and carry merchandise at multiple price points. The move improved sales figures, but exclusive fashion image became trenched. The retailer insisted that the move was necessary to allow the company to maintain profitability and expand into new markets. The company said, "We know what we are, who we are. We just don't believe in trendy, funky kind of styles." This was the Lord & Taylor at Northbrook Court in Northbrook, Illinois. This store closed on Tuesday, December 29th, 2020. Was supposed to close today, but it did get pushed back much earlier than that. And of course, so here we go. Here we go with May Company. When May department stores purchased Lord & Taylor in 1986, it embarked on an aggressive expansion program that took the retailer to distant markets and mid-sized communities. May discontinued the retailer's home and furniture departments and concentrated on dresses, careers, wear, and associates. By 2003, Lord & Taylor lost its luster. It swelled at 86 locations. Lord & Taylor brought in a new executive talent who trimmed the store count and updated its product lines. The change helped lift the store's image, but failed to attract younger customers. There was a sense that Lord & Taylor's days were numbered after its Fifth Avenue flagship closed in January of 2019. but its loyal customers in the suburbs and other communities knew otherwise. They still stood by Lord & Taylor. It was their store, a comfortable place to shop, and a part of their routine. This was inside the Lord & Taylor store. I don't know exactly where this was. Oh yeah, New York City. Here we go. In the year of 1946. Pretty cool image. Retail consultant Jan Rogers Keffen worked as an executive during May's ownership of the firm. Has extremely fond memories. Recently, I have considered heading down to the old 38th and 5th Avenue locations and placing a wreath or something. I guess I could just play the Star Spangled Banner and serve coffee from a coffee cart with silver service, as Lord & Taylor did every morning for many, many years when the doors opened. Or maybe I could throw a ladies who lunch party curbside in remembrance of Lord & Taylor. Ladies who lunch, groups that regularly meet at Lord & Taylor. So I do want to go brief on this paragraph really quickly, and then we'll move on. Yeah, so every morning before Lord & Taylor opened, they would play the Star Spangled Banner. That's why you see a lot of American flags outside of Lord & Taylor. So I think it's a pretty cool thing they did. I mean, obviously it doesn't happen now, but just a pretty cool piece of history. So anyways, moving on to the rest of the article here. Lord & Taylor was a business we all love, says Kniffen. Gosh, I guess the legendary Dorothy Shaver is spinning in her grave. There was never a store as good selling as dresses. Literally, Lord & Taylor was the best dress seller in America. Nor was there ever a store exemplifying the country club dressing like Lord & Taylor. I guess what I will really miss the most is the windows for the holiday season, and the magic recalls Kniffen. Yeah, and then also the cafes too. So here's another one, having lunch at Lord & Taylor, because Lord & Taylor, they used to be known for their cafes. Examples being Fashion Center in Paramus. Another one would be Scarsdale, and Hassett had a restaurant, and I think Garden City even had a restaurant. Former retail senior manager and owner of the Facebook group Department Stores Manor Group, Ken Allen, says that Lord & Taylor was the pinnacle of the industry. The retailer always encouraged the best of the best to serve on its team. Allen says the air simplicity continued right to the end of regular operations, and Lord & Taylor was a great bridge between the mid-tier stores and those focusing on the very top tier. We bid a sad goodbye to the signature of American style. When asked for comment regarding the store's final day of Lord & Taylor's leadership, reflected on the store's legacy. Over almost 2 centuries, Lord & Taylor has long stood for affordable luxury. It built a reputation as an innovator in the fashion community engagement and customer experience and service. Although our physical locations are closing, Lord & Taylor's history and contributions to the retail community and the communities that it served, it will not be forgotten. Lord & Taylor was always a community-focused shopping experience, and the loyalist to and from its customers has always been its greatest asset. We want to thank all of the Lord & Taylor team members for their tireless contributions, especially over the past year, in the unshearing out of its historical brand with grace, integrity it deserves. You are truly what made this brand so special. Lord & Taylor may have ultimately sealed its fate back in 1980s when the company president said, "We don't change, we'll stick to our personality." That's the way to run a company. But successful retailers always need to evolve and change. It's amazing that it made it as long as it did. In the end, it is rare for people, a business, or most things to last 100 years. Lord & Taylor lasted for 195. It's a remarkable accomplishment. Saturday's final closing of Lord & Taylor is a cause reflection as another iconic piece of history heads to the retail graveyard. So that is the article about Lord & Taylor. This was a great article. I gotta say, literally every detail was sought out from beginning to end. And for the person who wrote this article, you did a fantastic job. You literally highlighted everything that was important about Lord & Taylor, highlighted locations that were very significant and very special to a lot of people too. This was truly an iconic retail brand. There will never be another store like Lord & Taylor. A lot of people liked it. It's really sad to see them go, and especially, it certainly hits hard in my home state of New Jersey, as we had a lot of them across the state. Paramus being the only town in the United States to actually have 2 Lord & Taylor stores within the same town. That's something pretty rare, but this one definitely hits hard, and Lord & Taylor will absolutely certainly be missed. And as I've said many times, I certainly wish the employees the best of luck of finding a new job. Given the pandemic, I know it's going to be difficult, but hopefully you can find some work opportunities as soon as possible. So, anyways, this is my last video on Lord and Taylor. So rest in peace to Lord and Taylor, 1826 to 2021. A great 195-year run, and I can't wait to see what the future looks forward to with Lord and Taylor's online business, or even if they plan to come back, maybe like Century 21, but I doubt it at this point. I think it's just going to be an online retailer. So anyways, guys, thank you again for watching this video. Any thoughts on Lord & Taylor, make sure to leave that in the comment section below. So anyways, guys, thank you again for watching this video. And the article will also be located in the link in the description below. So anyways, guys, thank you again for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed this video, and that will be it.